What's up, everybody? In this video, I want to show you how you can make a page in Edesign that looks like this, and it's actually really simple and not that hard to do. Let's get started. All right, to do this, we're going to be taking advantage of these green boxes, what's known as a Swiss grid. Edesign sometimes calls it square one, is their technical name for it, but Swiss grid, square one, same thing. It's basically using these green boxes to lay out an awesome page. So let me show you how it works. We're going to come over here to the right-hand side of the screen. We're going to click on this dude right here that says templates. And you can see I've added some Swiss grid templates in here for you. It's these ones that have these weird looking pink lines on them. And you're wondering, well, what the heck do I do with those? Great question. I'm going to pick a hard one to do so that if you can do this one, you can do any of them. Let's try this one right here. And I'm going to drag it in and just drop it. And you can see it drops right into place, centered for me, which is actually super nice. I'll click outside of it to get the green boxes to go away, or the green outline to go away. And you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mods that we can fit on here. And that's the whole point. Each of these little spaces is going to be its own mod, and nothing will go inside of the pink line. So let me show you what I mean by that. Let's start with our dominant mod, meaning this one right here, because it's the biggest one. It's our dominant mod. This is where the best photos are going to go. If this was the football page, this is where the best photos of football activity would go. And then over here, this would be team captains, and up here, this would be head coaches, and so on and so forth. But whatever page we're making, the dominant, most exciting, interesting thing about that page goes here. So the first thing we do is we count the number of boxes going across. You always count across first. And there's a very good reason why. And then we'll count down. So there's 1, 2, 3. I'm counting the green boxes, by the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 green boxes across. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 down. So 12 across, 15 down. I'm going to remember that because now I'm going to find some content that I can fit in this box. I don't have to build this myself. I can if I want to, but I don't have to. So now we're going to come over here to this button right here. This is the mods button. And you can see there are already some in here, but let me show you how you would find a mod that should fit in here perfectly. Remember, it's 12 across, 15 down. And it's important that we remember the across versus the down. We're going to click on Get More Mods here at the bottom of the screen. And we're just going to go to this first box right here, Square One Mods, and click on this little triangle to expand that out. And we want to find 12 by 15 because this number here is always the number across and the second number is always the number up and down. And that's why that's so important. So I'm going to just scroll down until I find 12 by 15. And this does include the gutter. So I need to make sure I choose 12 by 15 gutter. You can see if this was 12 by 13, it's possible that there are some that don't have the gutter. So remember, the gutter is this white line going up and down right here down the middle of the book. So I'm going to choose 12 by 15 gutter, and I'm going to click on this little triangle to expand it out. Then I'm going to scroll down, and you can see I've got 8 options here, and I can just click, and I can see a little preview of them over here. Isn't that nice? Now, let's say I really like this one. Well, you can see 12 by 15, number 6 is already in there because it's already check marked, which means one of these over here is 12 by 15, 6. I'm not sure which one it is. Well, I guess I could just look. Okay, it looks like that, which means it is this one right here. But let's add a new one. Let's say we want to do 12 by 15, 3. What you have to do is check this box. I do this all the time. I click on this, and then I press OK, and nothing happens. So just make sure you check that box right there and click OK. And it pops up, and it's always the one at the very bottom, which once there is like 100 in here, that's going to be obnoxious because you got to scroll down to the bottom. Then you just click and drag and pull this in. And you can see it doesn't drop into place because Edesign is not 100% sure where we want to put it. So we have to manually move it. And you can see just snap it in right there. And it always goes from the start of one box to the end of another one. By that, I mean, we wouldn't ever want to put it like that because that's not the start of that box. So let's move that over to the start of that green box right there to the end of this green box right here. And look at that. That fits in there beautifully. Let's do another one. Let's do a tricky one here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 across and 3 down. So let's add a 10 by 3. We'll come over here to get more mods. We'll expand out square one mods here. And if you forgot and you were like, well, it's 10 by 3 and 3 by 10, that's the same thing. No, it's not. Look at what happened. We can't fit that in there. It's impossible. It won't fit. So we got to make sure we do 10 by 3. You could tell I felt very strongly about that. So 10 by 3. Does this one go across the gutter? No, it doesn't. So we're not going to choose 10 by 3 gutter. We're just going to choose 10 by 3. This one won't fit. The spacing won't be right. You see, I only have 2 options. One of them is already in there. In that case, I would just be like, okay, this one's already in there. There it is right there. Let's just hit cancel. And let's just bring that one in. I like it. Let's just use it. You don't have to. You can do whatever you like. I'm going to drop that in from the start of one green box to the end of the other green box. And beautiful. Added that one in. Let me show you a couple of other tips. Here's a 4 by 11 and here's a 4 by 15. I could actually add both of those at the same time if I wanted to be a little bit more efficient. I'm going to expand this out. I'm going to go to my 4 by section. So here's 4 by 11. So I'm going to click on this one. You can see there's already one in there, but let's add another one. Sure. Let's go with this. Oh, I like that one. It's got more photos. So I'll click on that. And then I also want to do a 4 by 15. But look at this. This is a little bit weird. There is no 4 by 15. There's a 4 by 14 or a 4 by 16. In that case, which again, I'm not 100% sure what happened there. I'm going to choose a 4 by 14 because it will fit better. And I do want it to be different than the other one. So I like this one right here. So I'll just choose that one and click check that box. And so I've got that one checked and this one up here checked. And now when I click on OK, it's going to add both of those. Just be careful when you do this that you can remember which ones are which. Don't do it until you feel pretty comfortable with this. Because now I'll drag and drop this one in here. You can see, oh, it doesn't quite fit. So you will see this from time to time where for whatever reason, it's not a perfect fit. If that's the case, what you can do is just come in, move things up just a little bit just to get things lined up a little bit better. And there you go. Now it fits fine. And then this one went over here. And remember, this one's going to be too small because this is a 4 by 14 instead of a 4 by 15, which is what this box is. So now you got to decide, well, what am I going to do with it? Am I going to leave it there or am I going to put it down here? Okay. You decide where you think it should be. I think right there. Honestly, what I would do is I would wait until I wrote these captions until this box was full. Maybe it's going to go to right there. And then once I had that, I would move it down. Oops, move the whole thing, not just one thing. Oh, that caption is lined up right at the bottom like we like to do in this class. All right, so let me just get one for here, and then I'll show you one last thing. So this one here is a 5 by 11. I'm fairly certain that one of these is a 5 by 11, but I can't tell because I can't see any names on them. But I can click on this magnifying glass. That's going to pop it up. And look right here. I can see the sizes right there. So then I would just scroll through. There's a 5 by 12. And there's a 5 by 11. And you know what? I like it. That one will work. So I'll just click on it and drag it out here. And that's a little bit obnoxious. Can't quite do that because this box is a little bit too big. So what I'll do instead is just remember, okay, that's what that one looks like. And close this up. And here it is right here. So I'll just click on it and drag it in there. And again, snap that dude into place. Now look at this one. This one is terribly sized. It's way off. I'm not sure what happened here. We can blame the people at Herf Jones. So what you're going to want to do in this situation is I would not just click here and drag because that's going to resize everything and it's going to kind of mess things up. What I would maybe do is come in and just resize these boxes to get them to snap into the position they should be in. So just like that, just take 30 seconds and clean that up a little bit and get that looking better. And again, make sure you do it right. So there you go. You can see I accidentally moved the whole box. So I'm just going to do a Control Z to undo that. Control Z is your undo. And this is a little bit hard to see. So maybe I'll zoom in. That'll probably make things a bunch easier. Yeah, this whole mod was all screwed up. So this is good practice because this is going to happen from time to time. You can see these are not going green to green like they're supposed to be. But just like that, I fixed it up and it's ready to be made. Awesome. So there you go. I got my 5 by 11 in there and it's fitting good. Last thing is this one down here. There are 14 green boxes going across, which means there are 28 all the way across. So whenever you have like a thin strip along the bottom here, there are several templates that are 28 by 2. You can go in here to get more mods to find it. I've already added one. It's right here. So I'm just going to drag this in here. One thing you need to be careful of is watch this. If I drag this in here and I let go right here, you can see the end of that mod is sticking off the edge, and Edesign saying, hey, that's a problem. I don't really know what to do with that. So you just click OK, and that will go away, and then you drag it in again. And this time you make sure you drag it all the way over so that the whole thing fits inside of here. And then we'll just line it up. And just like that, man, we have just designed a really good looking page. So let's get rid of these pink lines. We don't need them anymore. I'm just going to click on one of them and press the delete key on my keyboard. And if you want to kind of get a good idea of how it's looking, what you can do is come up here to view and check on hide grid and hide Swiss grid. And that will look like this. You can see that gives me a little bit of a preview of what it's going to look like. I wish we could get rid of everything so we could really see it. But I like the looks of this page, but we still have one more step to do. I'm going to turn all the grids back on for this last step. And obviously to turn the grids back on, I'm just going to click on view again and turn on show grid and show Swiss grid to get those back on. All right, now to finish this page, we need to come in and format all of the text. So the text all came on here with the Herf Jones default, but our yearbook is special and uses its own text. So we're going to go through and clean things up. So let's start with this caption right here in the bottom left-hand corner. I'm just going to click on it once, and you can see one time selected this whole group, and then I'm going to click again or double click to select just that caption. Let me show that one more time. Coming over to this mod right here and clicking once, just selected the everything, and that's, you can see that with the green boxes, and then double clicking on it selects just that caption. So let's do that, and I'll zoom in on this dude, and we got some things we got to fix here. So we got a caption starter, and they're using a period. I don't think that makes sense, so we're not going to use that. So we're going to click on caption starter, select it, and come down here to our character styles and choose caption starter black. There it is right there. And it's a little bit bigger. That's okay. And then our caption itself, we'll select it, and we'll change that to caption black. And then they do a photo credit. We don't ever do those. Maybe we should. Somebody might be able to talk me into it. But for now, I'm just going to delete it. And I'll press enter to move this caption down to its own line because I think that's where it should be. And it's sticking out a little bit, so I'll delete those spaces. And again, I'm going to delete this period and change this to my caption starter black. Delete the photo credit. Change this to caption black. So you need to go through and do that for the whole page. Let's look at just a couple ones that might be tricky. For some reason, they put their quotes in italics. We're not going to do that, obviously. So let me move this text box out of the way. And then come in here and select this quote. Triple click to select the whole thing. And since it's just a quote, we just treat quotes like normal. I'm going to turn that to caption black. And that's a little too big. So in this case, to make life easy, I want you just to delete some of the text like that so that it shows up more normal looking like that. And then, of course, we're going to select this, and we're going to choose name black. And you can see now problem, the grade disappeared. So what are we going to do? Well, we could do a couple of different things. We could make the box a little bit bigger. And there it is. Now I can see it. And it still fits all within that green. In fact, I do need to come over here because remember, we want the edge of the text to line up with the edge of the Swiss grid box. So I'm going to press this arrow key over so that we're exactly a half pica from the text to the photo. And there you go. And then this also should be aligned with the bottom of the text box, or excuse me, the photo box. So let me grab my photo box because I'm seeing now that it doesn't quite line up perfectly. Do you guys see that? That kind of stuff drives me crazy. So I'm going to get that to line up just right. And then I'm going to grab this text and I'm going to use my arrow keys, move this down till the bottom of the text is perfectly lined up at the bottom of the photo. So I would go through and do that on all of these over here, get all those dudes cleaned up. And then right here, you can see I've got a headline here. This is a smaller headline than normal. So I'm going to select just this text right here. And if we come down to character styles, you can see I made a headline small. So we can click on that. and it doesn't quite fit. And then also they made all of their headlines all caps. We're not going to do that on this font. So I'm going to change this to headline here, and then I'm going to lowercase this because I don't think that looks good. That looks much better. Good. So we have two options now. You actually have another set of options that I'm going to show you right now. But you've got a headline big and a headline small. But let's come up to this one up here. Let's see. I feel like if we use the same font for all of the headlines on every page, it's going to get a little bit repetitive. So I do have a secondary headline, which means that some of your smaller mods can use the secondary headline, not your big mods. Your dominant mods need to all use big line. So you can see down here, I've got a secondary headline, big and small. You can't quite see it, but the first one's big, the second one's small. So let's try secondary headline small. And it's basically the same font that they already had selected. And then again, we got an issue here. It doesn't quite fix. So what do we do? Well, in this case, I'm just going to make it a little bit bigger until it does fit. Where is it? There it is. And then that just looks weird. So I'm going to move this. I'm going to take the word here. I'm going to put it up on its own line. That looks much better, or on its other line. I'll put that down here. And then look at this is a sub headline. And we may or may not use sub headlines this year, so we need to know how to use them. So I'm going to select this text, and guess what? Here in character styles, guess what I have? I have a character style now called sub headline black. So I'm going to choose that one. And that doesn't quite fit either. So we can do a couple of things. We can make the text box bigger until it does fit. Then once it does fit, we'll use the arrow key or the selection tool, and then use the arrow keys on our keyboard. Select both of these text boxes and then just move it up since we have room. Oh, it fits right there. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, last one. This is our biggest headline on the page, so this should probably be our main headline. However, one thing that does look good, and if you feel like it would work for your headline that you can try, is actually doing this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select headline here, and I'm going to come in here and choose headline big, and then I'm going to decapitalize. I don't know if that's even a word. Decapitalize that, and then I need to make my box bigger to get the rest of that headline to come back. And I'm going to select this bottom text here, and I'm going to choose that, and I'm going to choose secondary headline big. And you can see that didn't quite fit, so let's fit that. If you are going to do that, I feel like that it does need to be in two different text boxes. So what I would do is I would take this, I would cut it by pressing Control X. I would shrink this box down quite a bit. Oh, not that much though. And then I'd create a new text box. Nice and big. I'd take whatever was in there and delete it and paste that one. Oh, not cool. Let's change that back to headline big. Because this gives us way more control over how we can line them up with each other. I feel like they're just too far apart. I would probably do something like that. I like the looks of that right there. That's a good looking headline right there. So go through and adjust all of your text on your page and get it so that it is using all of our correct text styles, character styles down here at the bottom. And that's it. You don't have to type any captions. You don't have to put any photos on your page. You just got to throw it all on there, build a page, get your text modified, and you are good to go. When you're done, make sure you do File, Save, and Close Windows so you don't lose any of your progress. Go over to Schoology, find the assignment for this video, and type up on the Create tab when you submit. Say, I am done with pages 14 and 15. It is perfect. I did an amazing job because in yearbook class, I always try my best and I always give my best. And you will be proud of me, Mr. Johnson. That's it.